The pounding on the door came at midnight. Cole Hartman sat up in his chair, hand moving to the Colts on the table. Nobody came to his ranch after dark. Not out here, 20 miles from town, where the only sounds were coyotes and wind through broken fence posts. 3 more strikes, hard, desperate. He crossed the room and cracked the door open. A woman fell against him. Dark hair, torn clothing, eyes rolling back. Cole caught her before she hit the floor. "Please," her voice was barely a whisper. "They'll hang me at dawn." That's when he saw her wrists, raw rope burns, fresh and bleeding, the kind you get fighting against bindings while someone drags you to a noose. Cole pulled her inside and kicked the door shut. He carried her to the bed in the corner and laid her down carefully. She was Apache. Curvy build, strong even in exhaustion. Her buckskin dress was ripped and dusty, face bruised on one side. Water, she managed. He brought the canteen. She drank like she'd crossed the desert twice. When she finished, she looked at him with eyes that held too much fear for someone so clearly fierce. "Who's coming for you?" Cole asked. "Sheriff Briggs, his deputies, maybe a dozen men." She pushed herself up on one elbow. "You need to let me go. If they find me here, they'll kill you too. Let me worry about that." Cole grabbed clean cloth and whiskey from the shelf. "What's your name?" "Sayen. I'm Cole. Now hold still." He cleaned the rope burns on her wrists. She hissed through her teeth but didn't pull away. The wounds were deep. Someone had tied her hard and meant to keep her that way. "They're saying I killed a miner," Sayen said. "Shot him in the back 3 days ago near Red Canyon." "Did you?" "No." Cole studied her face. He'd spent 10 years as a gunfighter before buying this ranch. He knew liars. This woman wasn't lying. "Then why do they want you dead so bad?" Sayen's jaw tightened. "Because I saw what they're hiding." Before Cole could ask more, horses sounded in the distance. Multiple riders moving fast. "They tracked me." Sayen tried to stand, but her legs buckled. "I need to run." "You can barely walk." Cole grabbed his rifle and checked the load. "Get in the cellar. There's a trap door under the rug by the stove. I won't hide while you'll do what I say if you want to live past sunrise." His voice carried the authority of a man used to being obeyed. "Go, now." Sayen hesitated, then limped toward the cellar. Cole covered the trap door with the rug and kicked dirt over the blood drops near the door. He set the rifle against the wall where he could reach it fast, then sat back down at the table with his coffee like nothing had happened. The riders stopped outside. 4 horses. Bootsteps on the porch. The knock came. Polite this time. Cole opened the door to Sheriff Briggs and 3 deputies. Briggs was a thick man with a smile that never reached his eyes. He'd been sheriff for 8 years and gotten richer every one of them. "Evening, Cole." Briggs tipped his hat. "Didn't expect to find you awake. Don't sleep much. That right?" Briggs looked past him into the cabin. "Mind if we come in?" "I do, actually. It's late and I've got cattle to move at first light. We're looking for a fugitive. Apache woman. Dangerous. Killed a man in cold blood. Haven't seen anyone." Briggs' smile widened. "You sure about that? We tracked her prints right to your property line. Tracks go lots of places, Sheriff. Doesn't mean they all lead somewhere." One of the deputies, a young kid with a nervous trigger finger, moved his hand toward his gun. Cole's eyes flicked to him and the kid froze. "Easy, son," Briggs said. "Cole here is an old friend. Used to work for me, didn't you, Cole?" "That was a long time ago." "Sure was. Back when you had a taste for justice." Briggs leaned against the doorframe. "Heard you got soft. Bought this ranch, stopped carrying that reputation of yours around. I got tired of killing for other men's reasons." "Noble," Briggs nodded slowly. "But see, I've got a job to do. The woman we're after is a murderer and a thief. She's got information about stolen property that belongs to some very important people. They want her silenced before she spreads lies." There it was, the truth, dressed up in law's clothing. "If I see her, I'll let you know," Cole said flatly. Briggs studied him for a long moment. The deputies shifted behind him, hands still near their weapons. "You do that. And Cole, don't make me come back here for the wrong reasons. You've built a nice, quiet life. Be a shame if it ended messy." Cole watched them mount up and ride into the darkness. He counted to 100 before moving. Then he pulled up the rug and opened the cellar door. Sayen climbed out, eyes fierce. "You know him." "Used to. He's gonna come back." "I know." Cole moved to the window and watched the horizon. "Which is why you're gonna tell me everything, right now." Sayen sat at the table. In the lamplight I could see just how beautiful she was beneath the dirt and bruises. Strong cheekbones, full lips, eyes that held both fire and intelligence. "The miner they say I killed was named Dutch Carver. He worked for the Copper Ridge Mining Company. 3 months ago they started blasting near sacred Apache burial grounds. My people asked them to stop. They ignored us." Cole poured coffee and set a cup in front of her. She wrapped her hands around it like it was winter. She drank like she'd crossed the desert twice. When she finished, she looked at him with eyes that held too much fear for someone so clearly fierce. She hired me as an interpreter, helped negotiate with the miners, tried to keep peace. Then Dutch came to me 2 weeks ago, said he found something in the rocks. Not copper, gold, Apache gold buried with the dead. How much? Enough to make men kill. Sayen took a slow sip. Dutch wanted to do the right thing, return it to my people, but Briggs found out. He's on the mining company payroll, has been for years. So Briggs killed Dutch and blamed you. Shot him in the back with my rifle, left it next to the body, had me arrested before I even knew Dutch was dead. Her voice cracked slightly. They chained me in the jailhouse, told the town I was a savage who murdered a good white man. Set the hanging for dawn. How'd you escape? A ghost of smile crossed her face. I'm Apache. We don't stay caged long. Picked the lock with a nail, climbed out the window, stole a horse. And came here. Why? Sayen met his eyes. I heard stories about Cole Hartman. Fastest gun in 3 territories. Man who quit Briggs after seeing too much corruption. I thought maybe you'd understand what it's like to be hunted for something you didn't do. Colt was quiet for a moment. He understood more than she knew. The gold, he said finally. Where is it? Hidden, near the burial site. Dutch gave me a map before he died. I have proof Briggs killed him, papers showing the mine's illegal claims, everything we need to clear my name and expose them. Then we go get it. No, Sayen stood up too fast and winced. This isn't your fight. You've already risked enough. Briggs threatened me the moment he rode onto my property, made it my fight. Cole grabbed his gun belt from the hook and checked both revolvers. Besides, you can't ride alone, not in your condition. I've survived worse. I don't doubt it. But you're not surviving dawn if we don't move now. It's 3 hours to Red Canyon. We get there, grab the proof, and ride straight to Fort Davis. Army commander there owes me a favor. He'll listen. Sayen studied him with those fierce eyes. Why are you doing this? Cole thought about the innocent men he'd seen Briggs railroad, the corruption he'd been part of before he found his conscience, the weight of guilt that still kept him up at night. Because someone should have helped them when they needed it. Nobody did. I won't make that mistake again. Something shifted in Sayen's expression. Trust, maybe. Or hope. If we do this, there's a good chance we both die. Then we'll die doing the right thing. Cole pulled his coat on. Better than most get. Sayen moved closer, close enough that he could smell sage and smoke on her skin. You're not what I expected, Cole Hartman. What'd you expect? Another white man who'd turn me in for the reward. She touched him on briefly. Thank you for being different. Cole felt something stir in his chest, something he'd buried years ago along with his guns. He pushed it down. They didn't have time for whatever this was becoming. Can you ride? Try and stop me. They left through the back. Cole saddled 2 horses while Sayen gathered supplies. She moved with pain but determination. This woman was a survivor. I could see it in every careful step. They rode out under a half moon, heading north toward Red Canyon. The desert stretched endless in silver, broken only by sage and distant mesas. Neither spoke for the first hour, just the sound of hooves on packed earth and night birds calling. Finally, Sayen broke the silence. You were a gunfighter. Was.
They say you killed 20 men, 14. And before you ask, most deserved it. A few didn't. That's why I stopped. What made you start? Cole was quiet so long she thought he wouldn't answer. My wife and daughter, 5 years ago. They were killed by outlaws while I was away working cattle. By the time I got home, they were in the ground. I'm sorry. I hunted those men for a year. Found all 4. After the last one fell, I realized killing them didn't bring my family back. Just added more weight. He adjusted his hat. Bought this ranch with blood money. Been trying to live quiet ever since. Until tonight. Sayen shifted in her saddle. My husband died 3 years ago. Cavalry raid. He was hunting rabbits when they came through. Wrong place, wrong time. Her voice hardened. They didn't even stop. Just another Apache in the way. That's why you took the interpreter job? To stop more killings? I thought if I could build bridges, make white men see us as human, maybe fewer of my people would die. She laughed bitterly. Instead, I got framed for murder. We'll fix that. You sound sure? I am, because you're not dying tomorrow. I promise you that. Sayen held his gaze. Something passed between them in that moment. Understanding, connection, the recognition of 2 people who'd both lost everything and survived anyway. You shouldn't make promises in the desert, she said softly. It has a way of breaking them. Good thing I'm stubborn. They rode faster. Time was running out. The eastern sky was already starting to lighten at the edges. Red Canyon appeared like a slash in the earth, deep and red even in moonlight. Ancient rock formations rose on both sides, carved with wind and water into shapes that looked almost human. The burial site is a mile in, Sayen said. There's a cave entrance marked with handprints. Dutch hid everything there. They dismounted and moved on foot. The canyon walls pressed close, blocking most of the moonlight. Cole kept his hand on his gun. Every shadow could be a deputy. Every sound could be an ambush. Sayen stopped suddenly. There, she pointed to a narrow opening in the rock. Red handprints covered the stone around it, dozens of them, layer upon layer through the years. My ancestors. This is where they rest. They squeezed through the opening into a small cave. Sayen moved to the back wall and started digging in the loose dirt at the base. After a minute, she pulled out an oilskin pouch. Got it. Cole moved to the entrance to keep watch. The sky was definitely lighter now. Dawn was maybe an hour away. Sayen opened the pouch. Inside were papers, a map, and a small leather journal. She flipped through it quickly. This is Dutch's handwriting. He documented everything. The gold, Briggs's threats, the mining company's illegal claims. Her hand shook slightly. This proves I'm innocent. Then let's move. We need to reach Fort Davis before the gunshot cut him off. Rock exploded near his head. Cole shoved Sayen deeper into the cave and drew both revolvers. Outside, men were taking positions behind rocks and formations. He counted 5 shapes, maybe more. Hartman, Briggs's voice echoed through the canyon. I know you're in there. Come out and maybe I'll let you live. How'd they know? Sayen hissed. Probably followed us from my ranch. Cole checked his ammunition. 6 rounds in each gun. Not enough. Or they've been watching this place, waiting for you to come back. Another shot ricocheted into the cave. Closer this time. Give us the woman and the papers, Briggs called. This doesn't have to end with you dead. Cole looked at Sayen. Her face was set with determination. She picked up a loose rock from the cave floor, testing its weight. I'm not hiding anymore. If I die, I die fighting. You're not dying. Cole moved to the entrance and fired twice. One deputy yelped and fell, but Briggs and his remaining men were spreading out, trying to flank the cave. Cole couldn't cover both sides. Then Sayen was there, grabbing his dropped rifle from where it fell. She moved like water, fast and fluid, finding cover and firing in one motion. The shot took a deputy in the shoulder. Told you I wasn't hiding, she said. You're impossible. So I've been told. They fought back to back now, covering each other as Briggs's men closed in. Cole felt a bullet graze his arm. Another tore through his coat. He dropped one more deputy, but Briggs was still coming. The sheriff appeared on top of a rock formation, rifle raised. End of the line, Hartman. Cole's guns were empty. He reached for his knife, too slow. Sayen fired first. The bullet caught Briggs in the chest. He toppled backward off the rock and didn't move. Silence fell over the canyon. The last deputy threw down his gun and ran. Cole and Sayen stood there, breathing hard, covered in dust and blood. The sun broke over the canyon rim, flooding everything with golden light. You saved my life, Cole said. You saved mine first. Sayen lowered the rifle. I suppose that makes us even. Cole looked down at his arm. The wound was shallow, but bleeding. Sayen saw it and moved closer. Let me see. She tore a strip from her dress and wrapped his arm with gentle hands. Up close, Cole could see flecks of gold in her dark eyes, could smell sage and gunpowder and something uniquely her. We should go, he said, but he didn't move. We should, Sayen agreed. She didn't move either. The army's still expecting us. They are. Neither of them were thinking about the army. Sayen touched his face. Her palm was warm against his cheek. What happens after we clear my name? I suppose you'll go back to your people. I suppose. Or maybe I could stay for a while. If someone was willing to take in a fugitive. Cole covered her hand. I've got a ranch that could use an interpreter. Help me negotiate with the Apache when they pass through. Keep the peace. Just an interpreter? That depends. He pulled her closer. On whether you got anywhere better to be. Sayen smiled, a real smile this time, not the bitter ones from before. I think I just found where I'm supposed to be. They kissed there in the canyon, with the sun rising and dead men around them, and a future neither had expected opening up like the desert sky. When they finally pulled apart, Cole picked up the oilskin pouch. We still need to finish this, I know. But now I'm not afraid of what comes next. They rode out of Red Canyon together, heading for Fort Davis. The papers would clear Sayen's name. Briggs's corruption would be exposed. The mining company would face justice. But none of that mattered as much as the woman riding beside him and the way she looked at him like he was worth saving too. By the time they reached his ranch 3 days later, Sayen's rope burns were starting to heal. Cole stood in the doorway watching her care for the horses with practiced hands. You're staring, she called without looking up. Just thinking. About what? about how I was supposed to be living quiet. It turns out quiet was just lonely with a different name. Sayen leaned against him. Is this the part where you ask me to stay permanently? Only if you want to. I want to. She looked up at him. They were going to hang me at dawn. Instead, I found someone worth living for. I'd call that a fair trade. Cole kissed her top of the head. Somewhere in the distance, coyotes called to each other. The desert wind carried the scent of rain coming. His ranch didn't look lonely anymore. It looked like home, and for the first time since he buried his first family, Cole Hartman felt like he had a reason to build a future instead of just surviving his past. Sayen squeezed his hand. Ready for tomorrow? With you, Cole smiled. I'm ready for whatever comes. They walked back to the ranch house together. The door closed behind them. Above, stars filled the desert sky, countless and eternal. And somewhere in that vast darkness, two people who'd been running from death finally stopped long enough to find life again.